It feels so good. Oh my gosh, feels so, so good. It's great to be here with you today. Hey, this is Robin Nielsen, and this is the Natural Solutions for Hormone Balance Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday. And this is an incredible group of women. Wouldn't you agree? Incredible. Like, you ladies are on the cutting edge. You're here looking for natural solutions for feeling your best, like not settling for not feeling great. Like, we need to take a stand. We need to feel great, right? Not just okay, not just getting by. We need to feel great. And that's why you're here. So let's do something. Let's do something. Super excited about that. Rebecca, if you have a chance, could you text me that that Barack Obama quote? I would love to get that if you have a minute. Not to add something extra, because I'll read it at the end, but basically we have to take action if we want to see results. And what I want to say right now, let's do this little exercise. So before we get too deep into this fantastic training today, so today is all about menopausal weight gain and fatigue. Menopausal weight gain and fatigue, because so many of you said you were exhausted and you gained so much weight around your middle and you just weren't sure what to do about it. And so let's figure it out today. And so it's 5 steps to vibrant energy and a sexier feeling body. 5 steps to vibrant energy and a sexier feeling body. Okay, so we're gonna really explore a little bit about what happens when we're post-menopause and we just, I don't know, we're just exhausted and we gain weight and we can't seem to get back. We can't seem to get our bodies back. So let's figure that out today. So while we're arriving, if you could just say hello in the comments. Say hello, say where you're joining in from. That would be wonderful. Give hearts. Love up on the other ladies who are joining in. Let's really connect with each other. Yeah, let's really connect. We're so devoid of connection right now, aren't we? Like, we're so starving for more connection. Oh, it's been so much craziness going on. I mean, 2020 has been a very unique time in our lives, super unique and very stressful on many, many levels. So we need to make sure that we're, really taking care of ourselves. And that's why I start with a song, so we can get out of our heads and into our bodies, because we need to get reconnected with our bodies. So while you're loving up on the other ladies who are here and you're saying hello, I just want to give a shout out to the ladies who posted on the Facebook post for today, which is who said that that they RSVP'd for this special Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday. So I just want to give a shout out to Deanna, to Kiki Niki, I love that name, to Fletchery, to Sonia, to Rhonda, to Sabrina, to Amy, to Angie, to Abby, to Heidi, Karen, Erin, let's see who else, Amy, Jeanette, Michelle, Nellie, Sandy, Lisa, Debbie, Sonia, Tiffany, Cindy, and Deanna. And I think that I said you gals twice. So thank you. Thank you for saying you're in. Congratulations on saying yes to yourself, because we can't heal if we don't figure out what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to give you the secret to healing from symptoms of menopause. Show up and take action. Show up again and take action again. Show up again and take action again. And every time you do that, you are changing the way your genes express themselves for the better. Isn't that cool? So cool. And it's just that intention of wanting better for yourself and that intention of knowing what it is you want. So why don't you post, let's do this little exercise, post right here in the comments 2 to 3 things that you want for yourself. So 2 to 3 things that you want to feel. So maybe you want to feel happier. Maybe you want to feel like good energy. Maybe you want to feel lighter. Maybe you want to feel hopeful. Like what, just 2 to 3 words of how you want to feel. So maybe you're not feeling that way right now, but how do you want to feel? So post right here in the comments 2 to 3 words of how you want to feel, because when you know where you're going, the chances of you getting there are very high. If you don't know where you're going, you will never get there. Never. So just post where you're going. Post where you're going. So we're going to a sexier body. We're going to vibrant energy. We're going to happy and optimistic, right? Joyful, hopeful, whatever it is for you. Post it right here. Great. So my hair is a little oily today because I had this really awesome morning, incredibly awesome morning. So I have my girlfriend down here with me, Trisha Nelson. Some of you might know her. I'm actually at my beautiful home in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico. I've been enjoying just a lovely time here, and I wanted to share some pictures with you, but I just didn't get to organizing them before the presentation today. But we actually started the day out at the beach. So at 7:30 in the morning, we went down to the beach where I usually surf, but it was a little windy and the surf wasn't very good this morning. So we took our snorkels and our masks and our fins, and we snorkeled all around the place where I normally surf. And there's some pretty big rocks there. And it was the coolest thing ever to see like what was below the surface. So, you know, when I'm paddling on my surfboard out to the surf, I go around the rocks. I'm really careful. And I kind of, you know, I've never seen underneath. So I got to see underneath. I got to see so many beautiful fish. It was kind of murky, but when we got out a ways, it cleared up some, and just, oh my gosh, the sea life was incredible. It was just absolutely beautiful. So we spent about 40 minutes just like meandering around, and I could feel like the tension in my body just sort of start to go away. And I was watching the fish go back and forth as the swell came and went. And it was so peaceful and calming. It's like I went back and forth with the fish. Oh my gosh, it was meditative. It was absolutely glorious. And then we got out of the water, and I actually had like the sea scrub this morning and a little mini massage. And that's how I started my day. And I saw clients, and just amazing. So I'm sort of as is, right? I've got a little bit of massage oil still in my hair, and I just feel so happy. So, so we just arrived here. So we have a big topic today. And our topic is really the menopausal weight gain and fatigue, and how do we get ourselves back from that? So I've been post-menopause. So menopause, right? It's one point in time. It's when your menstrual cycle pauses for good. So that is literally one specific day. And it's typically when you have not had a menstrual cycle for 1 year. It's interesting for me, I went into menopause at 46. So I've been in post-menopause for 12 years. It's a little on the early side. It's not too early. It's still within the normal range. But, when you go in, the earlier you go into menopause, the more careful you have to be because, you worry about bone health and brain health and skin health and all of that. So, yeah, it's better not to go in as early as I did. But, if you know my history at all, I'm a little bit of a stress case. I'm a doer. And so I was way overdoing, right? And so my body responded by stopping my period. I just didn't have enough resources to keep a menstrual cycle going. And so it's been 12 years that I've been post-menopause and my period just stopped. So I was regular, stopped. Never had another one. That's not the case for most of us. For most of us, our period starts changing. It comes farther and farther apart, or it gets heavier and closer together, like all sorts of weird things happen. So I feel blessed that mine just stopped and that was it. But then I had to start worrying about things, vaginal dryness, skin dryness, right? Moods become more of an issue, weight gain becomes more of an issue. All these things start becoming an issue and maybe they weren't before. And I know that, many of you expressed that that's what you're experiencing. And so let's dive, as deep as we can in the time that we have together today. We'll have about 30 minutes to talk about this. And we're going to start by taking a menopause quiz. So I want you to keep track of how many yeses you have. And I want you to know that I am going to send you today at the end of our time together, I'm going to, Rebecca's going to share the link to my Break Free from Menopause training. So it's a free training. You just opt in for it by giving us your name and your email address, which we may already have, but you opt in and then you get 3 videos and they're very targeted. So one is on adrenal health, one is on thyroid health, one is on vaginal health. And you will also get this quiz there, but we're going to take it right now so you can sort of see where you are post-menopause. So you ready? Okay, you're counting the number of yeses. So the first one is no menstrual cycle for a year. Yes or no? Vaginal dryness, hot flashes, night sweats, chills, sleep problems, irritability or mood changes, intolerance for the way things still are, water retention, weight gain around the middle, painful sex, urinary incontinence, thinning hair, dry skin, loss of breast fullness, fuzzy thinking, dizziness, headaches, loss of sex drive, decreased sexual response, decreased sense of well-being, energy, and ambition. That's one. Decreased sense of well-being, energy, and ambition. So you just don't have as much motivation or drive anymore. Loss of or thinning pubic hair, increased susceptibility to vaginal infections and urinary tract infections. So total up your number of yeses. You can post it right here in the comments if you want to. You're in the company of very loving women. And, this is a completely safe space. We have basically zero tolerance. We have a 1-strike policy. And if you break our rules, you're out, because it's a confidential, sacred place in our Facebook group. So I want to make sure that you feel very safe here. So post your score. And just know that this is your starting point. So really, if you have more than a couple of these, it's a big deal for you, because each one of them is a big deal, right? Water retention, big deal. Urinary incontinence, big deal. Vaginal dryness, big deal, right? Gaining weight around the middle, that's a big deal. Decreased sense of well-being, oh my gosh, that's a really big deal. So really there is no there's no one thing that's not a big deal. They're all a big deal. And anytime our body is talking to us like this, so I know many women suffer with urinary incontinence. It just doesn't have to be. You don't have to have that. So we don't tolerate the phrase in here, you're just getting older, okay? That's a no-no. If anybody ever tells you that, your doctor or your family or friends say, hell no. No, you can get older, not happening for me. And yes, of course, we're going to get, some wrinkles and looser skin and all of that. But it's somewhat of a choice as to how well we age or not, or else a really big choice. So I've interviewed over 200 of the world's leading minds on functional medicine, basically, alternative healthcare. And functional medicine. So, oh my gosh, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Daniel Amen, Dr. Stephen Masley, Dr. Annika Becca. The list is endless. Dr. Pedram Shodai, I mean, a lot of them. And I remember I was interviewing Dr. Stephen Masley, and I said, we were talking about insulin resistance, because insulin resistance causes so many problems for us. And so I said, we just naturally get more insulin resistant as we age, which means that we're going to pack on more weight around the middle. We're going to get more tired, right? All the things that, come with post-menopause. And he said, if we choose to. And I said, you're right. It's if we choose to. So here are a few things that happen as we age. Basically, our metabolism, which is the energy in our body for all of the processes that happens, decreases. It's just the way it is. It just decreases. Over the years, our metabolism decreases. So, when you think about somebody who's close to death, or who's dying, or who has died, it's that inner essence, right? It's their inner energy, that it's their inner light that is dimming. Our inner light just dims. And so if we pay attention to this, we can keep our inner light strong. We can keep that flicker more of a flame. We can keep it a lot stronger. So I've had debilitating fatigue. I've suffered from debilitating fatigue. I suffered from weight gain pretty much my whole life. It's been a constant, pay attention. I mean, for decades, every January would come around and I'd try harder. I'd diet more, right? I thought I didn't have enough willpower and it was my fault. So it doesn't really have to do with so much with post-menopause as it has to do with our metabolism. So my metabolism was a wreck when I was in my 20s and 30s. It wasn't until in my 40s when I figured all this out that I started to fix it. And I started to have really great energy on a regular basis. My moods were so much better on a regular basis. I don't get irritable ever anymore. And if I do, it's because I haven't taken care of myself. Like, I totally know why it happened. It's not because my hot, sexy lover, AKA my husband, did something wrong. It's because I was just out of balance. And so no matter what your age, whether you're postmenopausal or premenopausal, this can happen at any time. It just tends to happen more frequently and with more regularity. It's more common post-menopause. So it's almost as though, I mean, for some of us, I've heard some women who I've talked to say, it just happened. I hit 50 and everything went downhill, right? And it's almost like saying, or it's a very similar thing to saying, I just got diabetes. I just want you to let that sink in for a minute. I just got diabetes. I just got tired and fat, right? The same thing. So what's a little bit interesting about those statements is that it takes years. It takes years to cultivate diabetes. 20 years. It takes the same amount of time to cultivate tired and fat. Like you've been working on this for years. So if you're like me, you know, and maybe for you it's a little bit different, I don't know. You've been busy, right? Life has been busy. You've been working, maybe you've been raising a family, you've been caring for everyone else, and now it's your turn. But you're tired and you're heavy. You're feeling very heavy, like your body's just heavy. And you're not feeling very motivated potentially because you're tired. Literally, your cells are tired. But you've been building up to this. You've been working. If you're, you know, if it's like my story, you've been working really hard, burning out your adrenal glands, those little walnut-sized glands that sit on top of your kidneys and are little energy powerhouses. You've been working for years on exhausting them with so much stress, so much doing, so much giving, right? And not replacing enough. Same thing with your thyroid. Like you've been working really hard on shutting your thyroid down, which is responsible for your metabolism. Because you've been pushing too hard. You haven't been taking care of yourself enough. You haven't been getting enough rest or eating the right foods or caring for yourself enough. And so your metabolism is shutting down. So my point is, it's taken years. Can anyone relate to this? Yeah, you can do a heart or you can do a thumbs up, or yeah, if you can relate to this, say, I can relate to this. It's taken years. So, you know, I had a lot of what I call hormone deal breakers going on for me. So they're the root causes of my weight gain, of my acne, of my fatigue, of my horrible digestive problems, the root causes of my receding gums, the root causes of my constant irritability and grumpiness, the root cause of my like horrible PMS when I was younger. And so I had to start figuring out what those root causes were so I could plug the holes and heal. And that's what we have to do post-menopause. We have to figure out those root causes, those hormone deal breakers, those things that are totally messing with your body and metabolism. We have to fix them if you want to heal. So you may feel right now like a hibernating bear, right? You're not motivated, you're feeling very heavy, you're exhausted. And the hibernating bear is a great analogy because when a bear hibernates, just picture a bear sleeping, right? It's all curled up and it's in a cave and it's sleeping. And it does that because it doesn't have access to many resources during the winter. So resources like food and sunlight and easily accessible water. It doesn't have easy access to any of these things. So it hibernates. And what that means is that its thyroid slash metabolism comes down to the slowest it can to just keep the bear alive, because it doesn't want to use up too much energy while the bear is hibernating so that it can make it through to spring. So the whole bear's metabolism slows down to the lowest point it can, so that it's not using very many protein, or very much protein, very much fat, very much carbohydrates, no vitamins, minerals, right? So it doesn't need sunlight, water, any of that. So the hibernating bear its body is just barely functioning to make it to spring. Be curious as to how many bears die during hibernation, but anyway. So when we get post-menopause, if we haven't paid enough attention over the years, our body can feel like the hibernating bear. And it is a hibernating bear because it doesn't have enough resources, or over the years, we haven't given it enough resources. So your metabolism is super sluggish. Are you following me? Your metabolism is super sluggish. Whenever you start packing weight around the middle, you're also going to get tired. Because what's happening is that you've become more insulin resistant. And what that means is that your body is not efficiently getting blood sugar from your bloodstream, or sugar from your bloodstream, into your cells to burn for fuel. It can't get it in there anymore because your insulin is the key that unlocks the cell to get sugar in. And if we're tired and fat, we're more insulin resistant, our cells are not letting insulin in. Basically, insulin is not able to unlock the cells anymore. So what happens is your body has this mechanism where, your blood sugar can only get too high, and then it whisks the sugar out of your bloodstream and stores it as fat, so that your blood sugar stays within this really tight range, because we can't risk having your brain damaged by really high blood sugar. So you're constantly storing fat, and you're constantly tired because you can't burn sugar for fuel. So that's what happens. So that's why you're feeling like the hibernating bear. And then, our adrenals are really tired. So you're not making enough cortisol anymore. I think I was in my 30s when I just completely burned out. Like, my blood pressure was so low. My pulse was so low. My adrenals were so burned out. I was like kind of a walking zombie. I was so tired. I was so tired all the time. And it didn't matter what I did. I couldn't get my energy back. So, I had to go back to school. I had to, mentor with some pretty amazing people to figure my stuff out so I could pull myself out of it. So, so I kind of outlined some of the things that you might be experiencing, right? We did the assessment. So I just want to make sure that that you get that it's a sluggish metabolism, it's insulin resistance potentially, it's a toxin overload. Like, it's wonderful because in this group we have, under files, you can go grab the handout that's called the top 10 things that throw off your hormone balance. And those are the hormone deal breakers, my top 10. And so you can kind of look at those to see, where do I need to be focusing to help get me back? Right? Where do I need to be focusing to get me back? And so take a look at that, download it, print it out, take a look at that. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those things today. And you really have to start plugging the holes. And what I want you to know is that there are a couple of really cool things I want to share. One is, as men age, they become more like women because the amount of estrogen in their bodies goes up in relation to testosterone. And as women age, they become more like men. We just don't care as much. So one of the problems with that, so there's a problem and there's like this incredible benefit. The problem is we're in this giving more than we have pattern. So we've learned this over a lot of years, at least 50 years, right? We've learned to give more than we put back in. So we're always giving what we don't have, basically, energy and time, and we're holding space for people and lifting them up, and we haven't lifted ourselves up enough. So we've had years of habits that really haven't served us. And now that we're post-menopause, we have to look those habits straight in the eye and shift them. So the really amazing benefit of women becoming more like men, because we have less estrogen. So it's that estrogen that is the nurturing hormone that keeps us kind of stuck in taking care of others. Now that we have less of it, we can step into who we truly are. So, I mean, you look at some of these crazy, amazing women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? And Nancy Pelosi, and even the comedian, I think Phyllis Diller didn't even start her career until she was like 50 or 60 years old. Like, this is when you can figure out who you really are without the guise of estrogen, blocking your greatness. And you can do it. Like, you can fulfill your dreams, right? Jane Fonda, oh my gosh. All these incredible women who really have stepped into themselves post-menopause. So let's shake off for a minute all the junk that you feel that's coming with post-menopause. The vaginal dryness, the painful sex, the weight gain, the fatigue. We're just going to let that all go. Let it go. Oh, we're letting it all go. Yeah. So we're going to let that go, and we're going to instead tell ourselves it's our time. It's our time. It's our time to say no and have it be a complete sentence. It's our time to say hell yes to things that really nourish us. I just bought a flute. I used to play flute when I was in junior high. I was in the band, the orchestra, and I stopped playing. I also play the guitar and sing. And I just really had this desire to get back into playing the flute. I had no idea if I would remember how to play any notes. I didn't care. I decided that if I'm playing music, I am really nourishing myself. So I got a flute. I literally just received it about a month ago. And I started playing it. I also bought a beginner flute book, right? Because I had to start somewhere. And I remembered how to finger so many of the notes. I could make a beautiful sound when I blew in there. It was like riding a bike. Like, it just started coming back so fast. And it just felt so good. And that's how I want you to feel about where you are right now. I want it to feel so good. So the first thing I want you to do, I'm going to start giving you those 5 steps, is to really take an assessment. Take an assessment of what you're doing on a regular basis and decide if that's something that you really want to keep doing. And if not, figure out how to get it off your to-do list. Okay? Promise me you're going to do that. There's some things that we might have to shift instead of take off completely. So if something isn't really serving you, but you still have to do it, maybe it's like take care of a parent or a child or something like that. Shift how you're doing it so that it's much more pleasurable. Okay, so you're going to take an assessment of what you're doing right now. And because sometimes it's that we just hate our lives, like we hate what we've created, and that's sucking the life out of us. Is that true for you? So take an assessment, take an inventory, and start getting rid of things that aren't serving you. Be ruthless. This is your time. Be ruthless. This is your time. And then I want you to make a list of things that you really want for yourself. What are things that you want to do? How do you want to feel? Right? You want to make a list of what you want for yourself so that you can think about it every day. Because it's what we think about that we get more of. So if you're constantly thinking about your fat around the middle, if you're constantly thinking about how tired you are, if you're constantly thinking about how you don't have enough, or that you have to go do this again, can you feel how heavy that is? And you're going to get more of it. You're going to get more fat around your middle because you're thinking about it all the time. You're going to get more tired because you're thinking about how tired you are all the time. You're going to think about, all the icky things that you have to do. And you're going to get more of it because you're thinking about it all the time. So you want to create what you want for yourself. So it could be a vision board. That's fine. It could just be that you write these things down and you start looking at that list every day of what you want for yourself. That alone is going to start to bring your energy up, and those things are going to start to happen. It's really crazy how that works. So that's the first thing. So you're going to take inventory. That's number one. And then you're going to write down what you want for yourself so that you can start to vision it. Okay. The second thing is, you're going to eat more. So I have this, talk that I do, and many of you heard it: eat more, exercise less, because we've gotten into the habit of when we gain weight, we stop eating, basically, which really messes with our hormones even more. The problem is we were eating the wrong things at the wrong time. So we've got to shift that. We have to eat more of the right foods, and we have to eat for hormone balance. We have to eat for hormone balance. And when we do that, it just shifts everything. It helps us with our sleep. It helps us with our energy throughout the day. I mean, I've found some days that I'm just kind of tired. And I think back to what I ate. I'm like, I need to eat now. And I go and I eat, and my energy comes right back. So I just wasn't paying attention to when I was supposed to eat. Or maybe I didn't eat enough for one meal, or I skipped a meal for some reason. And that will set off my hormone imbalance basically for the rest of the day. So really take a close look at what you're eating and when you're eating. It can make all the difference. So that's number two. The third one is we have to start exercising for hormone balance, right? We have to start moving our bodies in a way that supports better hormone production, insulin sensitivity. So I can give you a quick tip: just walking for 15 minutes after each meal will improve insulin sensitivity, which means that you can lose weight and improve your energy just by walking for 15 minutes after each meal. So, I had this thing where I would over-exercise and under-eat, right? You've heard this. And so we have to stop doing that. So we want to start exercising for hormone balance. So that's number three. And stop overdoing it, because we got to this place because we stressed our body out for too long. And so we didn't make enough of our sex hormones. We didn't make enough progesterone. We wore our adrenals out, so we don't even have enough cortisol for enough energy. So we have to shift that. And just by these small, tiny things over time, if you're consistent with them, equal huge, incredible results. So in our Natural Hormone Solution program, I teach all about this. So you can learn about, what does it mean to eat for hormone balance? What does it mean to move for hormone balance? We have modules on all of this. The fourth one is you have to test. You can't guess, right? Test, don't guess. And that's because you've got to know where your fasting insulin is. You have to know where your ferritin levels are. That's your stored iron. because too little iron, that's a hormone deal breaker, right? If you don't have enough B12, that's a hormone deal breaker. You can't possibly have a healthy metabolism without enough B12. You actually want all the B vitamins, right? So you've got a test to figure these things out, and you need to work with a practitioner who knows how to read blood work for supporting systems, not for disease. We don't really care about disease. We care about feeling fabulous, right? Yes. So you want to compare your numbers to optimal reference ranges. You always want to be moving from where you are right now to feeling fabulous. And that means continually working towards getting your numbers more optimal. So in the Natural Hormone Solution Program, we actually have a list of the blood work. We actually have a spreadsheet where you can print it out and you can put in your numbers from your blood work, and you can see what blood work you're missing, and you can also see how far away you are from optimal, and then you can fix it. So we have a module on test, don't guess, right? How to really become the CEO of your own health, because we have to take charge. You're in charge of your health. Nobody else is going to do this for you. You know your body better than anyone else, and you're going to be able to fix it. You just have to have the right information and the right support. And that's why, I always say you've got to be in a program. If you're not in a program, you're always going to be putting out fires with your health. Does that make sense? If you're not in a program going from where you are right now to optimal health, feeling fabulous, you're always going to be seeking help when you feel like crap. And you'll never get there doing that. You have to keep focused all the time on doing one thing and another thing consistently so that you can feel better. It just takes consistency. All right, so we've talked about sort of setting your intentions. We've talked about eating more of the right foods and basically eating for hormone balance. We've talked about exercising for hormone balance. We've talked about testing instead of guessing. And then the last one is you've got to discover your root causes and fix them. So do you have any underlying chronic infections? You can tell that in your white blood cell panel, right? Are your neutrophils, lymphocytes, white blood cells, monocytes, eosinophils, are they out of range? And you've got to fix it. You've got to fix your digestion. You have to make sure that your digestion is working properly. So not only do our adrenals, get more sluggish and our thyroid gets more sluggish, but our digestion gets more sluggish. And our stomach acid gets weak, which means that we're going to be breaking down our bodies faster than we're building up. So our bodies break down a lot faster if we're not paying attention. And if you don't have strong stomach acid, you can't build your body well because you won't break down your protein well. So protein, fats, and carbohydrates, the food we eat, builds all of the biochemicals in our bodies. And do you know what? Protein actually helps to build bone. There are 20 different nutrients that build our bones, not just calcium. Okay, so you have to discover those root causes, and it could be that you're really nutrient deficient, like I am, right? I have to take a lot of nutrients to keep my body running efficiently and effectively. I take several handfuls a day. I know some of my colleagues take even more. I like to keep things pretty simple, but I still take a lot, right? Because I need it, and I feel so much better when I do. So that could be a hormone deal breaker for you. It could be really nutrient deficient. Those are one of the resources that your body needs to function properly. So you've got to discover your root causes, and you can do that in the Natural Hormone Solution Program. You can start figuring out what those are. And make sure that you download the top 10 things that throw your hormones off balance right here in our Facebook group under files, so that you have that as a starting point. And then, so number 1 was take inventory. Number 2 was eat for hormone balance. Number 3, exercise for hormone balance. Stop stressing yourself out. One of my friends here, she's doing CrossFit. She's doing CrossFit a couple days a week, and then she's doing spinning class. And she has never asked for my advice. She is completely worn out all the time. I think that she's just like totally afraid of gaining weight. I'm not really sure what's driving this, but she says when she goes to CrossFit, she just stops when she feels like she's getting too exhausted. But we sit and visit with she and her husband, and she's exhausted. Don't do that, right? You're just using up too many of your body's resources too fast, and you can't replenish them fast enough. So stop wearing yourself out. Okay? Stop wearing yourself out. And then number 4 is test, don't guess. And number 5 is discover your root causes, your hormone deal breakers. All right, beauties. So we're going to post a link right now for that special training. It's Break Free from Menopause. And there are 3 video modules. You'll also find the Menopause Quiz, so you can download that, take that, see where you are. And then there will be a button for you to schedule a discovery call, a hormone breakthrough session with one of my health coaches, so you can figure out next steps. We have this philosophy in my in my company that we have no woman left behind. So we want to make sure that every woman is supported if she wants to be supported. This group is a wonderful place to get support, but you might want to jump into a program and really rock this out. You won't be able to do it on your own. It's impossible. I've studied this stuff for years and years and years. I can't do it alone, right? We need mentorship. We need support. So you can schedule a free, so $350 value, a free hormone breakthrough session with one of my health coaches. And then you have to be in the US or Canada to schedule with us. And yeah, we'll help you better understand kind of what's going on for you and then what might be supportive for next steps. So there's a form to fill out. We want to know what's going on for you, what your challenges are, what your goals are, that sort of thing. And then we can help you with next steps. So make sure that you go do the training. It's completely free too, the Break Free from Menopause training. And then, if it feels right for you and you'd like some more support, then we'll see you in a hormone breakthrough session. All right, I'm sending you so much love. It's been wonderful to spend time with you here today. And if you have any questions, please post your questions here below the video so I can answer them for you. I actually look at every single comment in the couple of days following these so that I can see who's engaging, who's looking for those next steps, because unless we take action, we cannot heal. Right? That's pretty powerful. Okay, so I'm just wondering, so I want to end with this today. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And let's give Rebecca some love. Kisses to Rebecca. She is such incredible support for us, isn't she? She's amazing. So if you see her in this group, give her love, sisters. So we're going to end with, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Oh my gosh, it gives me goosebumps. And that's from Barack Obama. All right, beauty, sending you so much love. Bye for now.